Alright, so I want to make a little video around the problem with stealth. And, you know, I really hope that people pay attention to this, because there are things about this that I hope CIG pick up on too, right? Maybe this is just something that's going on behind the scenes that I don't have a full grasp on or whatever as to why things are so fucked up and broken with it, but we're gonna go over a couple of things and show y'all why I'm a little tilted about the Ghost. So here's the Talon, right? Now, as you see, the Talon has a detection radius of 871 and the radar pipstron at 878, right? So literally a 7-meter difference here. And I think that's, but this is the stock part, right? So like, here's something neat. So if you max the quality on a stealth power plant, right, it'll give you more stealth. So now you have roughly 100 meters of play. So right now what I'm trying to get at is that the Talon is the only stealth ship that has the ability to get guns on target while in stealth mode and not be detected, alright? It's the only one, okay? As you can see on paper, it can do it, alright? Now, this is why the Ghost is annoying, right? So, even if you max out the quality on your power plant, right, it's only going to give you, again, roughly 95 more meters of play, right? So when you turn the guns on in the Ghost, right, as you see, it goes up to 1.9 kilometers, and the pips don't turn on until 878. So the Ghost simply does not have the ability to get guns on target without being detected, but the Talon does. Okay. So that's my biggest gripe when it comes to stealth, right? You know, and now we see that the damage for a Talon, right? Now we're gonna look at the Saber, okay? As you see, the Saber has roughly the same damage output as a Talon, okay? So again, you set your power plant up, right? You get your special power plant, and you go in stealth configuration. And even with an upgraded to max level power plant in a Saber, you have a 1.6 kilometer detection radius when you just have guns on in stealth mode. And as you see, the radar currently turns on at 878. So the Ghost and the Saber simply do not have the ability to get guns on target without being detected, unlike the Talon. And I think that's fucked up, right? So the Talon's the only stealth ship that can actually do its as intended role, right? Which is why I bring up the Ghost. I mean, compare the F7A to everything, because this is what really tilts me, right? When you look at the capability of a Ghost in stealth mode, right? And when you look at the capability of a Saber in stealth mode, right? Obviously, on paper, you have better stealth, right? So you have better stealth on paper when it comes to the Ghost and the Saber, right? But see, here's the thing, right? When you creep up on somebody, right, you know, 1.4 kilometers is close enough, right? That's the thing. Like, if you want to get closer, you can, right? Obviously, you're given the ability that you can get closer, right? But it still doesn't change the overarching fact that as soon as you turn guns on in both the Ghost and the Saber, you're gonna be detected before you can get your pips on target, right? So if that's the case, then there's no reason to fly a Ghost, and there's no reason to fly a Saber. And there's every reason, well actually not so much when it comes to the Saber, we'll get that in a second, but you would fly the Mark II Hornet, because obviously you still have a functional nose turret, right? And it does way more damage, right? And this is the part, right? So when you come out of stealth mode, you turn your ship back on, right? With the way that this one is set up right now, as you can see, you can run it with one cooler, right? Same thing with the Ghost. Same thing with the Saber. Right? And of course, same thing with the Talon. If you really wanted to, right? You can, but why? So anyway, that's my whole issue, right? Is that the Talon's the only one that can get guns on target with a fully upgraded slipstream, mind you, without being detected, all right? Ghost can't, Saber can't, so that means that their stealth role is non-applicable anymore, and it puts it into the same category as an F7A, right? So if everything can do stealth, right? If everything has the ability to go into stealth mode, right? Then obviously you would take the F7A over these two, right? Because the role that these two ships are supposed to do, they cannot do because they have been nerfed into the fucking ground for whatever goddamn reason, all right? Same thing with the Talon, right? So the tactic is better, is more applicable in the Hornet based on the conditions in which the game currently is all I'm pointing out, okay? And as long as that's the case, there's no reason to take either of their ships. Now, on the nose turret, again, so if the F7A can do the same thing, right, just, I guess, slightly worse than a Ghost, right, then the reasoning that people are saying for the removal of the nose turret is completely and utterly fucking retarded, okay? So as long as an F7A can do it, right, then the Ghost should have its fucking nose turret. And on top of the fact that the nose turret for the Ghost is size 2s. They're size fucking 2s. So it does less damage than an F7A. So again, if this is the way that things are going to be, then the Saber needs to be buffed in stealth, and the Ghost needs to be buffed in stealth, right? If the Talon is the baseline here and what the role is supposed to be able to do, then stealth ships need to have the ability to get guns on target before they're detected, with a very small window, like it was before y'all nerfed it into the fucking ground, okay? And another thing is that the Talon and the Saber have the same EM signature reduction, right? Why doesn't the Ghost? And then on top of that, right, you know, why isn't the Ghost cap listed in the list? Like why isn't the Ghost cap working, right? And it's like, if the Ghost cap worked, right, then people wouldn't run the top turret and they would run the nose turret, right? Another reason why you need the nose turret, because it's supposed to have a function with its cap, right? Like the tracker has a function with its scanner, right? These mechanics have been MIA for far too fucking long, and you know, sitting here and trying to coddle everyone in that part of the community because there's a ship that can do something that they can't fucking do, instead of, you know, actually doing what you're supposed to do with these ships, right? Now we're in a situation where everything is a stealth ship, right? And it's not just the Hornet as well. Like, you have the same problem with the Gladius, okay? So if you were to do the same thing, right, with the Gladius, And this is where it gets disgusting, right? Because you don't even have to upgrade any of the components for this, like crafting wise. And then of course the radar, this civilian radar having the lowest detection out of stealth. Why does the civilian radar have more stealth to stealth components, right? Why does an F7A have more stealth capability than a Ghost? Like, I don't get it. So as you can see, again, you have the same problem here with the Gladius. It's the exact same thing with the F7A, right? Now you've got a situation where you have stealth military ships running around, and they can only be detected by ping. So, you know, stealth ships need to be stealth ships, and they need to have the ability to do first strike. Giving the Gladius and every other light fighter in the game, right, the role ability of a stealth ship is not the answer. All this does is get people out of stealth ships and doing the exact same gameplay loop in a ship that hasn't been, you know, violated by the DEI policies of Cloud Imperium games. Alright? Like, you can't make stealth global. And if you do, then everything's a stealth ship. Okay? So, and if, like I said, the Ghost needs to be buffed. And at least the stealth on a Ghost needs to be buffed, right? The stealth on a Saber also needs to be either buffed or tuned properly, because, again, right, it has nothing to do with DPS at this point, right? Like, how much are we gaining here? Yeah, this setting right here, same thing. As you can see, the DPS is similar. So again, the Saber and the Ghost need to have the ability to get guns on target without being detected. All right, that's what they're designed to do. And when it comes to the Firebird, obviously, you know, you're shooting missiles at 2 kilometers, right? And that's another thing with the Firebird too. We'll look at the Firebird as the finale here, if you will, right? So you're gonna want to run shredders this build, this patch anyway. So what you want to do is you want to put a slipstream and a JS 300, and then you turn off your JS 300. Turn off your guns, turn off your shields. Oh, and then we have to put the radar on. So even the Firebird has the ability to get guns on target without being detected, right? So the Firebird can do it, right? The Talon can do it, but not the Ghost, and not the Saber, but the normal one. But the Firebird actually is the only stealth ship in the game right now that can actually do its role as intended, right? And you can see that for yourselves. Not only does it have the ability to firebomb you without being detected, it has the ability to get guns on you without being detected, right? So, and it also has the proper reduction in signature radius in stealth, right? So again, there ain't no fucking reason for this. It's outrageous, and I just want everyone to understand how fucking stupid this is, okay? Because it is. Stop killing my ships, CIG.